Shamanism is really quite a practical practice. The only reason to do shamanic practices is to make a difference in your life. And so what's important about these practices is that you find a way to integrate them into your everyday life. How do you bring the practices, the belief systems, the understandings out of the journey and into your everyday existence and your everyday behaviors and your relationships with others? That's really the core of what shamanic practice is all about, if you think about it. Otherwise, it's just a game. So, how is it that you can do that? How do you bring the practice of working with animal spirits, for example, into everyday life? How do you bring the context of everything is alive into your everyday life? Those are two really big parts of shamanic practice. So let's look at some ideas for doing that. First of all, working with animal spirits in everyday life is a very powerful way of changing your life from being sort of a mundane, ordinary kind of existence to being a magical existence that incorporates the flow of spirit all the time. One practice that I often suggest to people is one that I call the morning messenger. The morning messenger is very simple. It takes very little time, but it's something that you probably have to practice daily in order to sort of get it, at least for a while. And this is how it works. Most of the time, people start their day, they wake up, they have a ritual that they do for brushing their teeth or getting coffee or getting dressed. And after that awakening ritual is done, then they prepare themselves for work. Then they go outside, jump in their vehicle, and drive off to work. They do this every day. And it becomes so routine that after a while they don't even think about it anymore. It's just a part of their day to get by in order to go on to their job. The suggestion is that you break that habit. And you can break it fairly simply and interestingly by taking just 5 minutes. Whenever you leave your house, but before you get into your vehicle, go sit on your front porch and just observe what's going on around you. Look for things that capture your attention. Maybe an animal, or it may be a plant, or it may be a cloud. But you're looking for something that catches your attention, something interesting. And notice what that is. It may be, for example, a squirrel. And what is the squirrel doing? Is it playing? That can be useful. What are squirrels? And in another video, when we talk about working with power animals, what you can do then is take that symbol, that animal, into your day and sort of mull it over from time to time. What is the squirrel trying to say to you? What is it leading you to do for the day? Here's an example. As I was on my front porch not too long ago, there was not much of anything going on. The wind was not blowing. I did not find anything necessarily interesting. No animals to speak of, and there wasn't much noise. However, in the distance, I began to hear the sound, a tapping sound. And it was a woodpecker. Now, woodpeckers are not very common in my area, but it captured my attention, and I thought, okay, woodpecker. Let's see what woodpecker has to say for the day. Now, woodpeckers are a lot about rhythm. And knowing just that much, throughout the day I kept thinking about woodpecker and rhythm, woodpecker and rhythm. And what I noticed throughout the day is that what I was doing had a particular pattern to it. And I noticed that if I was in tune with that pattern, everything flowed real well. But if I slowed down a little bit, or if I got into a hurry, things didn't go very well. So for me, that day, woodpecker was telling me something about how important rhythm was going to be to my day. Another example, not too long ago, again, I was on my front porch in the morning, and again, there wasn't much happening. But I did hear on the intersection not too far away, a construction crew, someone working on the road. And as I looked in that direction, I noticed the backhoe machine. They've always looked to me like scorpions. But that didn't seem to be right for the day. It just didn't resonate. So I thought, what is that? I wonder if a road crew can be my messenger animal for the day. And so I decided I would experiment with that and play with it. So I went on with my day, and as it turned out, that entire day was about deconstruction and reconstruction. Things kept falling apart and then being rebuilt, and often being rebuilt better than they were before. So for me then, that simple exercise helped me to bring more of the thread of spirit into my ordinary day than it would have been if I would simply have gone on my usual routine. So that's one way that you can stop being normal and following your routine and allow spirit to communicate to you about what's going on during your day. Another idea, which is also kind of fun, is to invite your power animals to join you in your everyday life. On a journey, you go to visit them in their home. Why not invite them to visit you in yours? And so sometimes when I go for a walk, I'll invite Wolf and Falcon to join me on the walk, on that journey. And I have a great time imagining Wolf walking beside me and Falcon flying above. And I feel like this walk is somehow special. That's a way of incorporating your animal spirits into everyday life as well. Have a power animal day at work, so that show Wolf what you do for a living. Let him wander around through the hallways and visit with your coworkers, and then later have a conversation with Wolf about how interesting was that, or was it interesting at all? So those are two ways that you can integrate the urgings and communication of spirit directly into your life. It takes a little bit of imagination, and it takes a willingness to play, but it is very rewarding. So those are just two simple ways that you can begin to open the door to allow spirit to move through you. What we're really looking for, if you think about it, and wondering how to incorporate spirit into everyday life, how to incorporate shamanism into everyday life, is to recognize how spiritual everything really is already. There's a tremendous aspect of shamanism which has to do with recognizing that everything is alive, and everything then can be communicated with, and also everything can be honored, and you can express gratitude to everything. Your car, your computer, everything. That's another way of bringing shamanism into to life.